Welcome to Pentecost, a celebration of freedom. Now, all the major world religious traditions have periods of celebration and also periods of serious spiritual practice. In today's globalized society, we are all sure to have heard something, even something minimal, about most of these. For example, you will have heard the word Diwali, Ramadan, Lent, Guru Purnima, Buddha Jayanti, etc., etc., etc. So many different reasons to celebrate. But we can find, if we look carefully at these feasts of celebration in the different traditions, a common truth carried by the various cultures, the religious expressions of a single message which is meant for all of us. About 40 days after the Christian community has celebrated Easter, or the death and the rising of Christ, they celebrate the Feast of Pentecost. Now, the message of Pentecost is truly a universal message, and one which is completely indispensable, vital for the well-being of our human family today. It's the only way, we are going to be able to find the possibility of living in respect and harmony together in our confused and violent times. So it is going to be well worth our while to give some time to listening to it and to celebrating. The traditional preparation for the Feast of Pentecost covers 8 days. So we're suggesting that each one decides now to set aside about 5 minutes each day for the next 8 days to prepare for the celebration. First of all, we need to listen to the message, take the questions proposed by it, chew over them, reflect deeply during the day, and then be ready for the next day's question and the next step of the journey. To do this, we will need to find a space alone to listen to the message. You can say, oh, well, that isn't going to be possible. The family, the children, and so on. But just think a little creatively. If you travel by car during the day, perhaps you can find a corner of a parking lot somewhere on your way to or from work. Or it could be a corner of your bedroom or the garden. I know one mother in the great city of Vienna whose only possibility of being alone for 5 minutes during the day was to take the baby and to push the baby through the local cemetery, Friedhof, to find 5 minutes to be alone and in peace. So, use your imagination. Find yourself a place where you can be alone and quiet for 5 to 10 minutes every day. So if you're ready for the adventure to Pentecost, take the first step and choose your time and place. Now, some of you listening will have been familiar with the story and the celebration of Pentecost since childhood. But for some of you, this will be the very first time. So for you, it might be worthwhile beginning by reading something that is written in the scriptures, the historical event and its symbolism. You don't need to go to a library or a bookstore, just look in your computer. You know how to find what you want. You need to find the New Testament and the end of the New Testament, the section called the Acts of the Apostles, or what the apostles or the early disciples got up to, what they actually did. You only need to read a section of chapters 1 and perhaps 2. So this is our first day on the journey. Am I really wanting to discover a way which I can take, which will lead me to a deeper understanding of the situation I live in today. Give me a new way of seeing the world around me, the crisis, the confusion. Taking a step towards freedom, full, authentic freedom for myself and for others. In other words, do I want to prepare to celebrate freedom, Pentecost? So that is step one, the first decision, first answer to the question. Time and place, if you feel you want to, reading or reading again, or reading for goodness knows how many times you've read it before, the Acts of the Apostles and the historical event we call Pentecost, so that you can begin to understand the deeper truth, the universal wisdom, the message, which leads us to freedom. To symbolize this full freedom, this final freedom, we have used the symbol of a closed door, slowly opening into light and space, to freedom.